Okay, welcome to another podcast from Dale Hollow Lake. My name is Richard DeVries, and I have with me from the Overton County News, Darren Oliver. Thanks for spending some time with us today, Darren.
Thank you for the invite.
So you do a lot of stuff on the lake. You play on the lake mostly, right? But
I do.
But your full-time job is actually the Overton County News in Livingston, right? So tell me what you do there.
I am a graphic designer, photographer, videographer, printer, and then we do the newspaper as well. I'd say the majority of my job is doing graphic design. One of the jobs is the Dale Hollow Lake Explorer that the Dale Hollow Lake Marina Association hires me to produce, and our great team here at Overton County News. But I grew up on the lake, so it was a good fit for me and to produce this.
And you've been doing it a number of years, right? How many years have you been doing it?
Well, I look back at that and it looks like I have produced full magazine 5 years in a row. But previous to that, I did 2 front covers for the Marina Association. And then I started producing the complete magazine for 5 years now.
Yeah, we started that. I'm actually the president of the Marina Association, and we started this magazine as a way to not only promote marinas, but all the businesses around the lake, all the communities around the lake. And it's been, all the Chamber of Commerce have gotten involved in it, and it's really been good, and it's enabled us to actually do some extra things for the community, like scholarships and stuff. So but nowadays it's mostly you. I mean, we kind of tell you what we want, you just kind of go with it. I mean, we try to have an article about houseboaters, campers, people that stay in a cabin, people that know the lake and spend a lot of time on the lake. Those are the stories that we tried to capture, right?
Yeah, everybody has a story, and there's a lot of people that love Dale Hollow Lake. I haven't found anything that's not interesting, and we are getting loaded up kind of on stories a little bit. We're having to push where, if we get one today, somebody talks to me about a story, it may be 2 years before we get to that. We're already getting a lot of people that are calling us and emailing us and saying something about their story on Dale Hollow Lake. But I love that. I get them because I love Dale Hollow Lake too. So we're always interested if somebody has a story they want to share with us. We would love to hear about it.
And now you hang out mostly at Willow Grove, right?
That is where we are at the present time. Yeah, where Mom and Dad had a houseboat at Horse Creek, and then moved from Horse Creek to Willow Grove. We had a lot of friends there, and then Mom and Dad wanted to be closer. My mom passed away in 2009, and Dad didn't enjoy the houseboating as much as he used to without Mom. And I assumed the boat about 4 years ago, and loved houseboating. We are out of houseboating right now, but I ain't saying we won't ever get back into it. We do have a Malibu boat that we enjoy, and we're down there constantly enjoying things with friends, but even previous of that, I remember growing up in Mitchell Creek. It was me and my brother and sister. We'd go with Mom and Dad down there every weekend, have a blast, and learned how to ski at the age of 4. And so from Mitchell Creek, of course it was Livingston Boat Dock at that time, and moved from there to Horse Creek. Mom and Dad did, and of course we followed Mom and Dad, and from there to Willow Grove. We've been at 3 different docks over the course of my uh, a career on Dale Hollow Lake, I guess you could say.
So you've seen lots of changes, lots of changes.
I've seen a lot of changes. Yeah.
Now, this Dell Hollow Explorer, most of the issues are available online in a digital format, so people could go back and read all the old stories. I mean, um,
They can.
they
Yeah.
can. So let's pull up the this year's edition. It just got delivered yesterday, right? Or the day before.
It just yesterday it got delivered to Willow Grove. Mickey Ledbetter does this every year. All the deliveries, 20,000 copies, come to this area and is distributed throughout all the counties and beyond. Uh, so that's the print edition. The digital edition is up and running, and lots of people will view it throughout the whole year.
Yeah, so I put it actually on Facebook, some links to it on a few different places. So you could go to Eastport Marina for sure, and also Dale Hollow on Facebook and see that digital version. I'm sure we'll put it in a couple other places, but most of the members of the Marine Association should have copies. So all the visitor centers should have copies. Any place that advertise should get copies, and so you can pick that up in a lot of places. So this is the cover. Of course, it has all the seasons. And again, this was put together mostly to help the whole community. But you can find out what's going on. You know, Sunset Marinas, Steel Coop is actually going to take that over. So we'll flip through this. You know, Dino at Exit Realty has been advertising for years. Now on here, I believe this page tells you, well, no, it doesn't, but there's all the member marinas. There's 10 of the 15 that are members. And really all it takes to be a member is to put an ad. It could be any size ad in there. Sulphur Creek, of course, they always get a full page ad. Now this family right here, I know them well. I just read the article today. It has a lot of nice things in there about Eastport. So that was nice to see. But this family, we've seen them little kids grow up, and they spend a lot of time on this end of the lake. And
Yeah. What about that 19? Is it what year was that boat? 1975.
yeah, his dad
Yeah.
bought it new in 75, and it looks brand new today.
Yeah. 1975 Sea Ray.
I mean, it was great. So that picture's great too. You did a good job. Did you take that
Now,
picture?
I didn't take that photo, but they had somebody to do some photography, and they did a wonderful job. I'm not sure who it was, but they did a great job.
I sent Cole a note last night and thanked him for all his nice comments. But anyway, they've been coming for years. It's really cool when you watch these kids grow up, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, the chambers around the lake, they sometimes will get a lot of ads and actually kind of co-op the page and save their members some money. And then let's see here, what else we got. That's again, they did 4 pages out of Birdstown. And then of course the Eagle Cam, everybody likes to hear about the Eagles, so normally we have something in there about that. Van Meter has always gotten a full page ad, and we appreciate that. I don't want to read the whole thing to you, but anyway, it's
Yeah, we got
a
lot of good support from around the community, and we're hoping to spread out a little bit more as far as getting to people to have the opportunity to advertise and market their business in this magazine.
Now, what we do pricing wise is if we were to compare this magazine and what we charge people compared to, well, a lot of magazines out there, in my opinion, it's about half what you would pay anywhere else.
I believe you're right. We do a little bit of a trade with some other people, and they, we could put a half page in theirs, but they could put a full page in ours for the same so for the trade.
Right. So, I mean, our whole, we really did this magazine so, the community could participate and save money and still get a lot of advertising out there. I mean, when people walk into my marina and they're like, where can I go for this? Almost every time I'll pick up the magazine and flip through and show them the ad. I mean, It's a great resource for us. So it'd be good, for you to be in there if you're not. Here's another one. I didn't read this whole one last night. I probably should have before we did this podcast, but this is another story about a family that's come to the lake, for a long time.
Yeah.
Um,
And it's a little bit about the experience of what last summer was for most people.
absolutely.
And hence the name, the Lake Escape. So
The pandemic gave people a lot of opportunity to come to Del Hollow in what we call, and always called, forced family fun.
yeah,
If you want to get away from, everybody else in social distance, your boat, your own cabin, your kayaks, I mean, that's a way that you can do it.
Yeah.
But before we had to do that with our kids, we'd get them on the boat and call it forced family fun. You could get away from all the distractions, and they had to spend time with mom and dad.
And they absolutely love it today, don't they?
They do.
It's their escape now too, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, they love the lake. Of course, Sunset, Tom up there, they've always supported this. Hendricks Creek, these are two marinas that,
Yeah, Patty's, she's awesome.
yeah, Anchors Away. Again, I didn't read all of these, but this was a long-term houseboat story, right? People been coming here for years and years.
This is a really, really cool story. You got to take time to read this.
We have had times where like 5 generations of customers have come to the lake. And now all 5 generations will rent a big cabin or a couple houseboats. It's amazing how much people love this lake. And we take it for granted. I'll tell you what, living on the lake, people will come here and go, I can't believe you get to live here. And sometimes we really don't, when you live there, you don't seem to appreciate it like you should. But if you just, your locals, if you just stop and go out on the lake a little bit more, you'll be amazed at how wonderful Del Hollow is. I mean, if you're not spending time on it and you live close, shame on you, because you're missing out. Of course, we always put the map in the middle, right?
Yeah.
So if people need a map, they can always pick up the magazine. On Horse Creek, new owners, new look. I haven't been there to see it, but I'm hearing they're rebuilding docks like crazy.
That is so awesome that they're doing that. That'll bring up that into the lake, and I know it. We were there for a while, and we enjoyed Horse Creek. It was down as far as you are at Eastport, Horse Creek's at the other end, and it was sometimes a little bit lower key, as far as boats being around. So, and I enjoyed being beside the dam. It was something to see every time you come out of Horse Creek. I'm glad that they're coming up.
Oh yeah, I heard that a couple weeks ago from somebody. They said, and they got a big parking lot. And their entire parking lot was full of new docks waiting to be, put in the water. So
yeah,
that's really good.
Yeah, Thomas, I really like Thomas. He's a good guy over there.
Yeah. Now this feud, we always get some local history as well. And the state of Tennessee was during the Civil War had a lot of Union and Confederate in the state, and it was mostly neighbors against neighbors, and it was a very rough place to live during the Civil War, because it seemed like they were having fighting all the time, but not like big battles. It was all little battles between neighbors, and that's where the history is amazing if you start looking at that kind of stuff. But
and there is no one that knows it better than Darren Shell on this lake, and we always pull in some article from Darren every year, and this one is a very interesting story. of the naming of Ill Will Creek. And so did you get a chance to read this one yet?
I have read it, but you know what? This I've read a while ago because Darren.
Yeah, in the books.
Yeah, Darren.
Mhm.
Yeah, you can in most places you can, or especially if you go by Willow Grove, he normally has his books for sale out there.
Yeah, yeah.
And I've for a number of years I sold his books in the Marina, and the history is just amazing what the people went through, not only back during the Civil War, but also when the lake was flooded and they were forced to move. So anyway, yeah, Darren knows all about that. I'm sure he's still around the dock, right? I mean, people can get their books signed.
But I believe he's kind of got his own business kind of running. He's around the dock all the time, but he's real good at it.
Darren's around the dock sometimes, but he's got his own business. He did, his family did sell the dock to Mickey Ledbetter, who's been there forever as well. But
yeah,
so nothing.
Yeah, the Shells and the Ledbetters are just such good people.
Yeah.
I'm glad to see the transition happen to someone that loves doing what they do. And so it's good to see that.
All right, so let's see. We'll flip through a couple of other ones of these. Another story about a regular customer that likes to come down and spend time on the lake. And this here was one about how to treat your hosts when you come down and stay on their boat. I like that. I read that whole thing.
What'd you think about that?
I thought it was really good. You come and there's some etiquette when you come down. You can't just jump on somebody's boat.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't know that. Peggy Georgie, she was in a houseboat right beside us at Willow Grove. She's a great person, and she loves to write. And I read that whole thing too, and I was like, she nailed it. And a lot of people don't understand when you're going to the lake. Maybe I need to be thinking of this and thinking of that. And so I've probably been guilty of doing some of those awful things too.
But it explained how the toilets work and what to bring. Somebody shows up on your boat and you don't have a towel. I mean, you know what I mean? It's just or bring something.
Yeah.
When people say, well, we'll share the cost, I've heard this a lot, is you really you can't share the cost because you start adding up insurance, how much the boat costs, and dividing it, how many times you're on it, gas, all that kind of stuff. I mean, there's no way you can even come close to sharing the cost. But it'd be nice if you brought something with you.
Yeah.
And helped out. I mean, it's a lot of work to host some people on a boat, but anyway, let's see what we got here. Star Point, of course, another member of the Marine Association.
Yeah.
Friendliest place ever. I mean, Nathan and his son, I hear such great things about him. And they were one of the marinas when we got washed away that were just so helpful. I mean, so helpful. There's a lot of marinas that helped, but those guys, I got a call from Nathan almost every day asking if I needed something. This is a high school and high school fishing. And of course, the marinas on the lake do a lot of support for high school fishing. We have 5 teams around the lake, I believe. Willow Grove always does a double page ad, and they always have great pictures too. I mean, that ad came out really good. I really like that.
Thank you.
And of course, if you want to go someplace that has music on the weekends, sometimes I think they're the Walmart of the lake. If anybody's going to have it, it's going to be Willow Grove with the size of their store and what they offer and boat parts, what they carry in the shop. If anybody's going to have it, it's going to be Willow Grove. And they really watch the prices. They got great prices at Willow Grove.
Yeah, I of course, we've been there a while. Their service is impeccable, but I do notice a lot of the other marinas all work together to help, their boating family out. If I see these guys going to about every dock to help, somebody out. If you guys are, if somebody's not able to do something, then y'all work together to try to help these boaters get back to boating.
I'll tell you a couple of examples. I had a houseboat actually pull up to Willow Grove, and the starter went out on it when they were at the dock. So it's just an inboard engine. They called and told me what happened, and I said okay, and I was going to send somebody out there, but I believe it was Darren that said, I got one in stock. I just put it on there for you real quick. And I was like, well, that'd save me a lot of time. Yeah, I appreciate it. So not only did he diagnose the problem, he had the part in stock, he changed it out, and the people went on their way.
Yeah.
It saved a ton of time. And, for me and the customer. So that's the kind of people that you have at Willow Grove. I mean,
Yeah.
Mickey has done that same thing for me a number of times.
And across the lake, how many times you ever see somebody toting somebody out here that just needed help? Get a hold of the dock or take them to wherever they need to go. And I've done it several times. If I see somebody down in the water, I'm going to pull over to help, because I'm hoping that somebody help me if that same thing happens.
Well, the Marina Association really got us together too. We, most of us talk a lot. But that's one marina for sure that sticks out. I mean, they do help people. Mickey, he's on the 911 board. So we had somebody on this end that actually broke a leg on a houseboat, called 911. And Mickey called me up and said, hey, can you guys go out, take the EMS out to this boat? And, I was the closest marina. So he just called me up, and we went out there, and it was a little girl. She fell, or she jumped off the coffee table, and she broke her leg. So anyway, having, a close relationship with all the marinas and the owners, I mean, we try our best to help each other out.
Yeah, you can tell.
Well, and there's our marina, and of course, if you don't know it, we have the farm at Eastport. It's a 90-acre farm a mile from the lake, and we have a heated and cooled venue, a barn, a 6,000 square foot barn. So we didn't do a lot of weddings because of the pandemic, but we've already got 4 scheduled for 2022. So it's starting.
That's a good looking couple in that picture in there too. Who is that?
Well, that's my son and my wonderful daughter-in-law. So it's Nathan and Lee, and you'll see them around the dock a lot. They got married in October, and one of the segments we're looking at doing with the Del Hollow podcast is date night on Del Hollow. And so what they're going to do is they're going to actually do a podcast, like maybe they'll show up at Willow Grove and do a podcast about, what's going on a Friday night or whatever, or they'll show up at Sunset Marina or wherever. I hope people start inviting them, and, even around the lake, not necessarily on the lake, but, they're going to do a podcast again called Date Night on Del Hollow. And, we'll see how that goes. I think they're pretty excited about it.
Yeah, I've seen these. This is just a few of the pictures that I've seen from the farm at Eastport, and every picture I've ever seen looks so like the venue is so cool, and the opportunities for picture taking in so many different spaces. So
yeah, sometimes I'm out there and I'm looking at it and I'm going, wow, I own this. I mean, it's got 2 cabins on there as well, the 4-bedroom cabins, and it's just absolutely the most beautiful venue. In fact, the kids, they decided that they weren't going to get married there because they work there. You know, it doesn't feel as special, I guess, when you work there. So they started looking at venues, you know, in the area, and they decided that ours was the nicest one, and the price was a whole lot better. So they decided to go ahead and get married there. They couldn't find one nicer. So, and there's some nice venues out there, but anyway, so
They are really nice venues, but y'all have a really good one.
yeah.
And man, getting into your kayaks, you know, I told you the other day that I'm very interested in coming up and trying out some kayaks and figuring out which one fits me best.
Well, I'm real excited about kayaks. You know, when it comes to like we're going to have a big tournament the first weekend in April, and we're hoping to have 200 boats. Now they can go anywhere on the lake, not just Eastport, but we are going to have some events at the venue out there on the farm, and we'll have a bunch of kayaks out there as well. Again, I hope we get 200 boats. I can't see us having less than that, but, and then there's on the third day, it's called a Clash of the Clubs. And they've invited 50 clubs to each send 3 anglers. So that's 150 boats. And we're hoping that prize money is way up there. I mean, I'm hoping that we hit $10,000 for that first prize, but we've got some people that have donated some money and some vendors that are donating kayaks to the winners. So it's going to be a big event, and we're going to have music and food and stuff like that, and invite some other vendors. So it ought to be a big deal.
Definitely keep me, Overton County News, and the community involved in what's going on. We'd love to help promote and market that for you, and maybe run a story or two too.
Well, I'm in the middle of making a poster, and there's going to be a podcast. Paddle and Fin, they have a podcast, and we're going to be on that probably next week. So yeah, we're, you know, weather with kayakers, they really watch the weather. You know, they don't commit to a tournament until it gets closer. So we'll see how it goes. We're going to have camping over there at the farm as well, just to accommodate.
Would that be I mean, is it just like a regular fishing tournament, but just on kayaks? Or
well, there's no weigh in. You actually take a picture on a board and measures the fish. Okay. So and then you release it. So the fish kill is not near as much as a regular tournament. Fish, you catch them and you let them go right away. And then what they're going to try to do, if they got enough service on the lake, it's going to be like a live update. You'll be able to, like if you have it on your screen on your computer, somebody catches a fish and they upload it to the tournament, you're going to see what everybody's catching as they catch it. So, and that podcast will be live from the farm at Eastport as well.
That's interesting. Yeah.
So, and if you're not in the tournament, you can still come and, you know, do the music, the food. Of course, we'll have a beer vendor out there as well. Anyway, it should be a nice time. You can come look at bass boats. We got a camper company that's going to come out. And I didn't mean to get way off on what we're doing at Eastport, but let's flip another page here. Well, there's Dale Hollow Marina. He's done a lot of work. That was just purchased this last year by Denny, who also owns, well, he owned Dale Hollow Marina, and now he's got Cedar Hill.
Are they assumed into one name?
Well, I somehow, let's see how he has it on here. It says Dale Hollow Marina, but that's a picture of Cedar Hill right there.
It is.
So I think it's like Cedar Hill at Dale Hollow Marina or something. They're really close together as far as getting to them by land.
They are really close. Yeah.
So anyway, so both of those are owned by Danny. Let's see here.
And just on top of the hill, you got Ricky Bobby's.
Yeah, they've got quite a few places to go eat. They're so close to Salina as well. Now this year we started letting the Corps of Engineers put their photo contest in here. And so I think it's a great place for them to be able to show off the pictures that people submit. They look pretty good.
Yeah.
Wolf River has always been a member of the Marine Association. And of course, Clay County, their chamber, I guess, got some people out there to advertise. Now, these are scholarships. So what this magazine does is it allows the Marine Association to give back the money that we make from the book. We give out $500 scholarships, and we have for a number of years, I guess since 2012, to each of the high schools around the lake. There's 5 counties, 5 high schools, and 5 $500 scholarships. And then a couple years ago, I guess this is going into our 3rd year, we offered a scholarship to a graduating senior that also was on the fishing team. So there's only 4 of the high schools have fishing teams. So we give out a total of 9 $500 scholarships around the lake. Now, if you look, it has all the names of people who got scholarships. If you're in one of those counties that didn't use the scholarship because nobody applied, we try our best to get people to take these scholarships.
We got to get more people involved in this. You're ready to give us out some money. And it's one of your the Marina Association's causes, so is to provide scholarships and for people that love Del Hollow Lake.
Well, I'll tell you, there's been a time that I was I personally called the coach of the fishing team and said, "Hey, you only have 1 senior, and did we miss something because this person didn't apply?" And he called the counselor, and she was actually given the application, and she didn't fill it out. So, and if you're the only one, guess what? You don't have competition. I mean, that's your $500.
Yeah.
So, if you live in one of these counties, now's the time to go ahead and apply for the scholarship for 2021.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, they have up until April 15th of this 2021 to apply for this coming scholarship.
Oh, wow.
Right?
Yeah. So, yeah, we're running out of time already, aren't we?
Yeah, the deadline's right on top. And see, a lot of times all these schools, we have a daughter that is, she's graduating this year, and Livingston Academy just sent out all the scholarship opportunities in January. So they didn't, so all the seniors are just now seeing what scholarships are even available just happened. And all the deadlines are right now in a row, all the way up to the Del Hollow Lake Marina Association's deadline in April, which is April 15th, I believe. So, hopefully everybody's getting everything out there so the seniors can see it and try to apply. It doesn't hurt to try to apply.
Yeah, I mean,
just takes a second.
That's a lot of money that we try to give away. So
yeah, it is. And go back to the Corps of Engineers and the photography thing. Sandra Carmen, she's so great to work with, and I talk to her every year to collaborate with her about what might be important to put into this the magazine. And I want to work, I know the Marinas want to work close with them as well as I, and to make sure that we're putting out good messages and things, even from their perspective. And she also said she wants to distribute some magazines in the campgrounds this year. So
that'll help.
Yeah. So I've reached out to her yesterday by email to let her know that we have them available and see how, how we can get them to her, and then she can just distribute those to the campgrounds.
Okay, so if somebody wants to advertise, it's not too early to start talking to you about that, right? I mean,
Oh, no,
for
it's,
next-
we're already gearing up now for 2022. I've already started making my files in my computer and started, thinking about what we're going to write about, and we're thinking about how to make sure that we're getting to everybody to give them opportunity to advertise. One of the areas Patty keeps talking about is up in the that the um, Cumberland County there. That's an area that we're not getting to as much, and we need to make sure that we're getting up there. So we apologize to anybody that didn't get the opportunity. We won't try to get to as many people as we can. In our limited staff, but we have some wonderful people here working. Morgan Walters, and we got Rachel Smith, and they really put a lot of efforts into making this the best magazine as well, and giving the advertisers an opportunity to send out their messages of whatever product or service that they may want to advertise.
So for you, to get a hold of you, was it in the magazine? I was flipping through.
It
It's on the
is.
first or second page, right?
It is right there on the first page. And let's take a look here. Well, page 2, page 3, so right here, just how to advertise.
Okay, I thought it was on there somewhere.
Yeah, there's a contact number.
Well, why don't you go ahead? Why don't you give us that number just so?
It's 931-403-6397. And we'll design the ad for you. We do all the design work for the magazine. Now, if you have your own designer, that's fine too. We got the specs for it, and that could happen very easily. But
it doesn't cost more for you to design the ad.
It does not. It does not.
Okay. Unless they get crazy, like.
Well, yeah. If it's going to get into a lot of extra,
yeah,
we got to, hire some people and do some things, and do a couple backflips. We might have to hire a little extra.
right.
I mean, charge a little extra. So.
Okay. So is there any other way they can get a hold of you?
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't mind. If I have my cell phone, you can call me direct at 931-510-5303, Darren Oliver. And I'd love to hear any kind of story ideas. If you've got some, any businesses would love to be in this, we'd love to get you into this magazine. Remember, there's 20,000 of these distributed, throughout this year.
In a normal year, it's like goes to a lot of boat shows. I mean, this isn't a normal year because a lot of those got canceled, but
Yeah.
all the boat shows we went to, and anybody that's advertises in here, we hand out thousands of them at the boat shows in Indiana, Ohio.
Yeah.
There's
I find for tourism, this is great for any tourism, but also local. A lot of people that are local want to look at this and read these stories as well. So it's a good thing that the Marina Association started, and I'm proud to be a part of it. I appreciate the opportunity that you have given me throughout this.
Now, local people that we've recognized on there, we had a skier that he was like been doing, I mean, he was an old guy.
Rex Stannard, he's my hero. He is one of my heroes. My goodness, he gets up every day, and him and his wife go down to the lake, and he rides up and down Ashburn Creek. I went with him, and I did that photo shoot, and I watched that guy ski for 30 minutes solid, going back and forth, slalom skiing. And he said, "Okay, it's your turn." And I said, No, I didn't bring any shorts, whatever. The next thing I know, here come a pair of shorts and landed right here on my chest. And so I got out there and went about 10 minutes and had to get back in the boat. And I was embarrassed about that.
Anyway, so if you want to go back and look at some of the old stories,
Yeah.
if you go to the same link where we have this year's magazine, you should be able to search and find all those other ones. But
Yeah.
we've had a beauty queen that's also on a fishing team. I think a lake person, I think most of the men have a dream of finding and marrying a wife that loves the lake and will fish with them. That's somebody that's rare out there, or more
Yeah,
rare than
it
it needs
is.
to be. So
Yeah.
if you're beautiful and you can fish, there's a lot of guys that are looking to find a wife like that. I think those two things are.
Drinking that ought to be a dating site, right?
Yeah. But you've done a couple of those where they've been on the cover. You had one wakeboarder. Well, I forget the story of her that was on the cover.
Oh yeah. Stevens. So she was Miss Tennessee.
Oh, that's what it was, Miss
Mhm.
Tennessee, and she loved Del Hollow Lake.
That's right.
Well,
Yeah,
and she was quite a wakeboarder as well.
she's a pretty good wakeboarder.
Yeah. So anyway, I don't know who's going to be on the cover next, but there's I guess you're already thinking about that, aren't you?
I'm always open to ideas, so please share with me. You can even share them to my email, Darren at overtoncountynews.com. That's DARREN at overtoncountynews.com. Spell all the way out.
All right. Well, I think I'm starting to ramble, so maybe we can be done before we bore people to death. But it's great talking to you, Darren. I mean, if you want to be on the show again,
Anytime. I've enjoyed it. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to the Dale Hollow Lake podcast, where we give you the down low on all things Dale Hollow. We are so glad to have Darren this week to talk about the Dale Hollow Explorer, and hope each and every one of you check it out. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube and Facebook. Share the podcast with your friends, and tune in next week for another great episode.